I don't really know where to begin. Like, it's not easy admitting these things. Things with my dad weren't right, normal. Nobody has like the perfect relationship with their family. I get that. But not everybody is hurt by them in the way I was physically. These outbursts from my dad, they got worse when I went secondary. And I thought it was my fault because I started to rebel at home. I realized that other girls got more than me. Like, they were living life because their parents were more normal than mine. They got to go out at weekends, on parties, drinking. They got to go Westfield. They got to go around each other's. And nobody could come mine. No way. Because my place was so quiet. We weren't allowed to make noise. We were all bare scared of my dad because he was difficult. So we all spoke in small voices, or not at all. And as I got older, I realized just how loud my voice actually was at school. And I discovered I liked it. Oh, I loved it. Then when I got home, I shrunk. I stopped myself from being, well, I suppose, my real self, loud. So I started shouting, screaming. If my dad didn't like it, I would just walk out the house. So he lashed out. Like at one point, he just kept doing it every day, and I just took it because I didn't really have a choice. And then there was this one time where he went a bit too far, and I had to go hospital. It was near Eid, and it was a hot day in spring, and I wasn't wearing much. He didn't like it. I told him I couldn't change because then I'll be late. I said I knew why he wanted me to change. I said I knew he wanted me to be safe. He said I was haram, I was sinful, no daughter of mine, and I was bringing shame to his family. His family. I wasn't his. I wasn't his property. I told him that. He didn't like it. So he broke my rib and nearly my jaw. Social services got involved when I went back to school. I didn't tell no one it was my dad. Just said I'd fallen down the stairs. Classic. But she didn't believe me. She got the police involved. I told her no, because I didn't want to get my dad in trouble. Because even though I hated him, it doesn't mean that I don't love him. He's my dad. But this social worker, she did it anyway. And the police did nothing. Because when I got home from the hospital, I didn't speak. At home, at school, not even with friends. They didn't know what to say. I think they knew, but didn't know how to ask me. And I tried to tell them, but it was just too embarrassing. Like telling them that my dad had put me in hospital. Nah, it was just too deep. So I just did my best to pretend I was fine, even though my whole body was shaking and everywhere inside me felt like it was in pain, like my stomach, my chest. And I was like, when would it go back to normal? My life. It never had been normal, had it? And that wasn't normal. So I thought about telling someone. But I didn't see the point because I knew that I was just not going to say anything. Like my brain didn't let me. It was failing me anyway, like all the time. Wouldn't let me sleep. Sometimes would stop me from breathing, like panic attacks. So I stopped seeing the social worker because of that, and because she was bare annoying. And then eventually, like a few months later, this woman shows up. Her name was Lisa from Advance. Don't get me wrong, she was bare annoying too at first, but I knew she was cool. I didn't say much the first 2 times I saw her, and I thought she'll give up in the way that I had kind of given up on myself because I didn't speak. But she didn't. She just kept coming, and I thought maybe I wasn't fine. Like, nowhere near fine. Maybe she could help. And it wasn't until like the third time I saw her, I felt like there was an earthquake inside of me and my brain was going to explode. And I just cried and cried and cried. And she listened for like 2 hours. She told me that my dad had assaulted me and that wasn't normal, but I didn't have to press charges. She told me that I was probably having panic attacks because of it. And so she put me in with the doctor. Came with me to the appointment even. Now I am on the waiting list for therapy. In the meantime, I get to see Lisa once a week. And she asks me how I am, how are things with dad. And I tell her, they're getting better. He lets me go to the women's centre because it's supervised. But I like it because I get to meet other girls like me. And we get to talk about stuff that I don't tell my schoolmates about. And I can call Lisa and them anytime.